And welcome. I call to order this June 24th, 2020 meeting of the Needham Finance Committee. As a preliminary matter, permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Carol Fischetti?
Yes.
Barry Kaufman?
Yes.
John Conley?
Yes.
Josh Levy?
Yes.
Rick Lanetta?
Yes.
Louise Miller? Louise, you're muted.
Muted.
Okay, let's come back to Louise. Garrett Parker?
Present. Yes.
And Dick Riley?
Yes.
All right, I think I unmuted. Did I unmute?
You did, Louise. Hi, Louise. Are you here?
I am. Am I
Okay.
unmuted?
No, you're
Yay.
good.
You're
Thank
unmuted
you.
and visible.
And staff member Louise Misgard.
Yes, here.
Good evening. This open meeting of the Needham Finance Committee is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberation of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. Except for the agenda item entitled Citizen Request to Address the Finance Committee, this meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Needham Finance Committee is convening by Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that others may be able to see you. So take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body will be available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. We are now going to turn the first item of the agenda. Before we do, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker of the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. Committee members, if you wish to speak subsequent to me calling on you, please physically raise your hand so that I may recognize you. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. And with that, I will turn to the agenda. First item on the agenda is citizens' request to address the Finance Committee.
You're not the
Do we have anybody raising their hand or?
Mr. Chair, I don't see anybody raising their hand.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to the next item on the agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of the prior meetings of May 20th and May 27th. I have a motion.
I move the acceptance of both meeting minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? So I will call to a vote on the minutes, yay or nay on both sets of minutes. Carol Fischetti,
Yay.
Barry Kaufman,
Yay.
John Conley,
Yes.
Josh Levy,
Yes.
Rick Lunetta, Louise Miller,
Yes.
Garrett Parker,
Yes.
Dick Riley,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. They're unanimous. The next item is the election of officers for the fiscal 2021. Before I move to that, I just want to make a couple of comments. Dave mentioned to me that I should think about the year and review the year, and I can only think of the year in two portions. The first 9 months were a breeze. Very simple. We didn't really have too much controversy. You all did your jobs with dedication and diligence, and very impressed. And then something happened in March, very unexpected, and our focus changed in that we were worried about revenues and were we going to be able to meet our obligations. And I think through the direction and leadership of Kate and Dave, we were able to cut the budget, to recast the revenues, and I'm very proud of the work that they did, and I appreciate that very much. I'm also thankful and grateful to all of you. You were very flexible over the last 3 months with schedules and continuing to move forward on what was a very strange year from my perspective. And I just want to thank you all for that. And last but not least, I'm very impressed that we were able to pull off a town meeting the way we did. It was, while the number of articles we went through were very brief, I thought we went through them thoroughly and within the time frame that we were able to. So I was impressed with that. And with that, I will be happy to take nominations for the next chair of the Finance Committee. Do I have any nominations? Barry?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Ms. Carol Fischetti as the new chair of the Finance Committee.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dick. Dick, you have a question?
No, I was just seconding.
Okay. Do I have any other nominations? Okay, and with
I
that,
just have a question.
fire away, John.
Does Mark know?
He didn't for a while, but yes, I told him.
Okay.
Well, that's good to
Just
know.
wanted to make sure.
Make sure we note that in the minutes, Louise.
Exactly.
And with that, I will move forward with the roll call vote. I will begin with Mr. Kaufman,
Yes, enthusiastically.
Mr. Levy,
Yes.
Mr. Riley.
Yes.
Conley,
Absolutely.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
Garrett, Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Lunetta,
Yes.
Ms. Fischetti. You
Do
get
I
to,
vote for myself?
you can.
I'll just abstain.
Most people do.
Several times.
I would
I
like a
think
yes from you.
Okay,
I think
yes.
you have to accept, Carol.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the chair votes yes, making the vote unanimous. And with that, I strike the gavel to the end of my term and gratefully hand it over to Ms. Fischetti, the new chair. Congratulations, Carol.
Thank you. And you'll give me that preamble stuff if in fact we have another Zoom meeting.
Maybe. Absolutely.
Great. So thank you all. Looking forward to the year. I think that it will also be a different year because we deferred a lot. Really, Tom should be the chair for 2 years in fairness, but
Nice try.
that didn't work. So, I think that there's going to be a lot to do, and I'm anticipating some difficult decisions over the year as we navigate this post-COVID life that we're in. But I think pulling off the town meeting and is a really a testament, frankly, to how well our town is managed. So thank you to you, Kate and Dave, and the select board. And I was pretty proud of us that we were able to get through town meeting the way we did. So I'm looking forward to the year. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. And, you know, we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and work hard. So, and with that, I would like to nominate the vice chair for the finance committee this year. I would like to nominate Josh Levy.
I will second that.
Second or third. Garrett.
Great. So, can we have a vote? Dick,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
John,
Absolutely.
Louise,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
and Josh?
Yes,
Great. Congratulations.
Congratulations as well.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So I think, welcome aboard, and looking forward to all working together.
Can I ask
look
a
forward
quick
to it, too.
question?
I'm sorry?
I just want to ask one quick question, if I could.
Yeah.
Louise, are you at a bar?
I'm sorry?
I was just curious where you were. It's the noising every time you unmute.
Oh, yeah, I'm still at work.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was something more entertaining.
Yeah, more fun, right?
Anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt the meeting.
That's okay. So the next item on the agenda is the Highway Commercial One Working Group appointments. So we need like a liaison to work with the select board and the planning board on moving that forward. Right.
Madam Chair, I think that Kate was looking for 2 volunteers, 2 appointments.
Q?
Yep. And I think you've done some work on it yourself.
I have done some, I did some work when they started that initiative last year. So if there's anybody else that would like to
I'm
join,
happy to do it.
okay. Great.
What is it exactly?
Yeah, what's involved?
So they've been having meetings. Basically, they didn't want to, I think it's maybe me that's having the problem, but they wanted to avoid having another failure, basically, of any proposal they brought forth at town meeting on the Muzzy property. So they convened the select board, the planning board representatives, representatives from the economic advisors, and then myself to just meet to kind of talk about where we're going and what they should be doing, and you know how they wanted to move this forward. So since they had to pull it off town meeting in May, I think they'd like to bring something back maybe in October. I don't know, seems ambitious, but this is definitely coming back again. So
The working group has a meeting scheduled for tentatively for July 7 at 9 a.m.
what they do? Okay.
Yes.
So that would be great, John. That would be great if you would do that.
Yep.
I'm happy to still to do that as well. If somebody else wants to join, that's great. But not necessary. Is there anybody else that is dying to work on the Muzzy initiative? No?
I'm happy.
So, oh, sorry. I moved. So, I I do have a question though. As the working group is put together, it really is just a sounding board for proposals. They're still going to have to come to the full committees for review.
That is,
And yep. So what is the time frame that we think the Board of Selectmen are considering? You said October town meeting?
no,
No? Okay.
no, May.
So May's fine. Yep. October is really soon. Okay.
And Carol, I just have another question.
Sure.
So what has come out of the meeting group so far?
Very little, really. You know, what's come out of we had 2 meetings, and out of that came, the first meeting was really to understand why the finance committee voted against, what happened at town meeting, basically, and what we wanted to see. And so then out of that, really came the, moving towards the traffic study. And so that's really as far as they've gotten. Well, that's not true. They did have, they had the group scheduled a public hearing. They did have the first public hearing with the Heights, not a public hearing, they had a meeting with the Heights Neighborhood Association. So, but that's really what's come out of that. But what I think needs to come out of this group really is to, now that we have some time, to sit back and really think about what really is the best use of this property for the town, and what will maximize both, utility for everyone and tax revenues, minimize traffic issues. So I just think there's a lot more planning and consideration that could be done for that site other than what was done. So, and I don't know where the owner is in terms of wanting to sell, intending to sell. I'm assuming they're nowhere now. Kate, does that sum it up?
Yeah, I think I would just add one thing is that we asked for, and the finance committee gave us the reserve fund to do a traffic study.
Yep.
And then once COVID hit, we couldn't do the study. So that money's being returned. And I think the working group needs to talk about this, whether there is anywhere near, September would be anywhere near new normal in terms of traffic. And I think a lot of people are going to say that it isn't. And so in terms of traffic, is there another way of extrapolating other data that we might have? So I think that is the other piece that we did this spring, and then it just stopped.
Thank you. And we also, the $60,000 that was appropriated at town meeting, would that be going towards traffic studies as well if there was enough traffic in the fall?
It's a funding source for whatever the working groups and the select board, finance committee, and planning board want to see studied, but I think that's a big question.
Yep.
Carol, I'm happy to participate if you're still looking for somebody.
Okay, that would be great. So, John and Barry. And Louise, I'm sorry, where is that meeting? Do you know? Oh, that's a Zoom meeting. I was thinking we're actually having meetings. Sorry.
It's the only reason why I volunteered for a July meeting.
When can we have meetings again? Do we know, Kate?
Oh, I'm hopeful after Labor Day, but it'll depend on what the phase 3 guidance is, and then the phase 4.
Okay, so we really can't meet until at least phase 3? or
We're
4?
not, we're not scheduling any meetings in July, and I'm assuming no August as well. So I would plan on Labor Day at this point at the earliest.
Okay,
That could change, but that's what we're thinking.
okay, great. So then moving on to the next item on the agenda, which, and Josh, I'll let you talk about this, but this is fiscal year 2021 planning. Do you want to talk about your idea with the select board?
Sure. So I was just thinking that since this coming year is going to be quite busy in the fall, because many things were deferred from the annual town meeting, and the budgeting process might also be a bit different once we understand the full impact of the pandemic. It might be beneficial to have even closer communications between the finance committee and the select board. And I was wondering if there was interest in putting together a schedule of rotating finance committee members to attend the select board meetings so that they could, report back at our meetings and make sure that everyone's in the loop and in constant contact.
Yeah, I'd be willing to participate in that.
I would too. I was, I didn't realize you wanted to rotating set. So I'd be willing to go as many as need to be covered. As Carol said, I got off a little bit easy to a number of warrant articles. So this will be my penance to for the select board meetings, or at least zoom in on the select board meetings, depending on how they handled. So,
Right.
I'll do that or share it with others if others want to do it.
I appreciate that. I try to attend when I can, but I'm not always able to. And I'm sure it's a big commitment for everyone to attend every meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to participate.
I think given the fact that the history of where we've had issues on warrant articles and things is when we get the information at the last minute and are expected to turn it around. I assume we're going to be in a very tight schedule for the special town meeting in October. So I think it's critical that we have sufficient meetings and sufficient time to address the issues and make an informed decision before we're expected to sign off on things.
Yeah.
And I think having representatives sit in on meetings can help with that. So I guess I'll put together a schedule of people who indicated their interest, and I'll have it rotating for now. It doesn't prevent anyone else from showing up if they want to.
Great.
Good.
All right. Thank you. And then another item for the, Dick.
Just sort of a related matter. John, at the last meeting, you had indicated a request that the liaisons meet with the school committee, and that in theory was going to be done in a short period of time. Has that happened yet, or?
So we did have a Zoom call
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, Carol,
I think so. Yeah.
and talked through some things that were some duplicative of the session we had with Dan back at the end of May, and then some additional items. And we expected and said that we're going to asking them to track certain items in a manner in which we wanted to see them, and they agreed to do that. And then indicated to them our desire to meet on a somewhat regular basis, the liaisons during the summer, as further information unfolds.
Right.
So to use your term, Dara, a term you're familiar with, we sort of teed it up.
Just given how fluid the budget's or their expenses are gonna be, we thought it was made sense to have more frequent meetings to be on top of it, and for them to track it so in a way that will be relevant for all of us to look at.
And my guess is that we don't have a meeting scheduled yet. Do we, John?
We do not.
But I think that the initial guidance for kind of going back to school and what it should look like in terms of ratios will be out like later this week, or certainly at the last by early July. So maybe we probably won't meet until that's come out and they know what they're dealing with. So. Dan Gutenkens very much, he wants to get kids back in the classrooms. So.
As do the parents. Most of the parents.
Most of them.
Yeah, so, and actually, maybe they won't all be taking the buses, so the traffic might be horrendous. So maybe October would be a great time to do a traffic study. So, we don't know. Okay, great. So Josh will put that together. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was we got that information on the Avery Crossing project yesterday, and I didn't have an opportunity actually because I had another meeting, so I could not listen to that meeting. I plan to do that over the next day or two. I know, Dick, that you had some questions. Those were great questions. I'm wondering if other people have questions, we can put together a list of questions and then submit that, Louise, to the planning board. Is that, or the select board? What are we? Right?
So, Carol, I actually have a question about that. How are these things forward?
I'm sorry, I didn't
The
hear.
select board?
I didn't hear what you said, Louise.
I think we lost her audio.
This is simply, this is a zoning article change, correct?
It's a zoning article change. Yeah.
Question I would have, I worked for a company that had an assisted living, high-end, and is skilled in the building. And so at the time, it was long-term and high-end assisted. And so in essence, how is it rezoned differently than it was rezoned before when it served the same purpose and function? That'd be a question. I've not listened to anything yet, but I'd have a question of curiosity of why a chicken coop is being rezoned to a chicken coop. I'd be kind of curious.
So Rick, I looked at it briefly and it seemed to me that, to your point, the uses are essentially the same with some modifications, but they're looking to do items on the, put apartments on the roof or put structures on the roof. And so it's going to be a,
Taller chicken.
they're going to need relief to build more, which is on top than what they have right now.
Okay.
Right, and those apartments on the roof, those are that is independent living, right? So they're just apartments.
Correct.
Yeah,
So I think that needs, the definition needs to change for that reason as well.
my understanding is that they're skilled nursing, they're getting rid, there is no skilled nursing, it's independent and assisted in some memory care.
Yes.
So there isn't a skilled nursing component to this. Not that, but essentially it's the exact same footprint with the exception of the apartments on top.
Right. So I think that the pitch is that there should be less traffic because there's less workers coming there on a day, coming and leaving on a daily basis.
And Carol, I had a question as well on the map change, actually. So I know with Hartney Graymont, one of the objections is that it was the map change was so narrowly focused on one or very few parcels. And I guess I would hope that that wouldn't be an obstacle also. I don't, maybe one of the things to ask for is just a view of the map change in the context of the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone here? Or was it garbled?
We can hear you now.
Now we can hear you, but
No.
we didn't hear you before, Garrett.
No, I was wondering if everyone could hear Joshua. I couldn't hear. I was saying it came across garbled last minute and a half.
Oh, I can repeat if you'd like. I was just saying that it would be nice to see a view of the map change in the context of the surrounding areas.
Thank you.
Okay. And this will be on the, this is planned to be on the October town meeting.
Yep.
Great. Any other finance committee updates, issues? No?
I move we adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Don't you-
Aye.
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 Great.
Right, so I look forward to seeing you guys all here. You can, I think I said in my early email that you could all